The white box is around my face. It's not focusing on my face. I can see it's focused on their faces, but the white box is following me as I go side to side here. Recently, I've put out a couple of videos talking about the new Canon G7X Mark III, and I've tested it against the Panasonic Lumix GH5 and came across some focusing issues. So then I decided to do another video just testing the focus of the G7X Mark III. So I learned a couple of things and I saw things that I could have done better. So I thought I'd do another video about the G7X Mark III, another test of the focusing, maybe change some settings around and see if anything changes, if anything gets better, or if it stays really slow and is just really not that good. It's 2019 now, and everybody's getting used to phase detect focusing because it keeps you in focus pretty much wherever you go and move and tracks you everywhere. And the G7X Mark III has contrast-based focusing, which has been proven to not be that great. So let's put this to the test. I'm going to put this on the tripod now and see how it goes. Okay, so for this first test, I have gone ahead and zoomed in 3 times, and I have the white box around my face right now. I'm going to step out of the frame and let it focus on there, and then step back into the frame and see how long it takes me to get it back in focus. Here we go. So now I'm going to use this background mural here as an example. So right now I'm touching my face to make sure I'm in focus. My face is highlighted. I'm going to step out of the frame, let it focus on the back wall, and then I'm going to step back into the frame. I am not that close to here. There's maybe 10 feet or so from the wall to me. So let's see what happens. So I'm going to walk out of the frame, let it focus on the wall, and come back in and wait, see if it focuses on my face. I see the square is back on my face. Step out of the frame and back into the frame. Am I in focus? Am I in focus? I still see the background, looks like it's in focus. All right, let me try this. Step in, out. Back in. I see the box on my face. I'm going to press the shutter, and press the screen again, make sure it's highlighted on my face, which it is, and step out of the frame. I'll step back into the frame. The box goes back to my face. I'm going to walk to the wall. And now I'm going to come back to the camera to see how quickly it tracks me. Am I in focus or is the background in focus? No, now I'm in focus. Okay, step out. I'm keeping an eye on that S right there. And now it looks like it's focused again. So I'm back. It's performing fairly well, I think. Okay, so now I'm zoomed out, just so you guys can see the difference here. I'm going to step out of the frame, and back into the frame. So now in this mode, it's a lot harder to tell if I'm actually in focus or not. I can't really tell. So for this test, I have gone and zoomed in all the way on the G7X Mark III. I have made sure that the white box is around my face, so I should be in focus right now. I am outside of an IHOP, and the IHOP sign behind my head is a great distance away from me. I'm going to step out of the frame, let it focus on the IHOP sign, and then I'll step back into the frame. When I step back into the frame, the white box does go back to my face. So essentially, I'm hoping that it will focus on my face. And it looks like it is focusing on the IHOP sign. And when I step back in, I hope it's focusing on my face. It looks like it's working. The main focus here is to see whether or not I'm in focus and how quickly or slowly it focuses back from my face to the sign behind me. Now, as far as I can tell, the camera appears to function as it is supposed to. As soon as I come into frame, the white box goes around my face, and I'm hoping that it's focusing on my face instead of the background. Is it? So one thing about the G7X Mark III is that we have slow motion, but we don't have autofocus when we use that slow motion. But let's take a look at the slow motion anyway. So for this next test, what I'd like to do is test the focusing with the neutral density filter off, and then I'll turn the neutral density filter on. So right now the ND filter is off, the box is framed around my face, so I should be in focus. I'm going to step out of frame so you can see the car behind me and let that get into focus. And then I'm going to come back into the frame. I see the box immediately goes right to my face. And as I come forward, I can see that, yes, I am in focus. And when I come out, hopefully it zooms back to the car or focuses back to the car. The ND filter is now on, and I see the white box is framed around my face. I'm going to step out of the frame and let it focus on the car behind me. And step back into the frame. Come forward a little bit and move out of the frame. And back I come. I see the white box hit my face again, and away I go. Okay, so now I'm going to move backwards. Now I'm going to move backwards towards the car and see how long, or if it tracks me all the way to the car here, and then if it tracks me as I walk back. So you can see it's quite a distance away. All right, here I come back. I'm going to come back a little bit faster. Did I stay in focus? Or is it still focused on the car behind me? The white box is around my face. One thing I have noticed is that in low light, the focusing seems to get a little confused. It is now about 8 p.m. The sun is going down. It's still fairly bright out here, but I thought I'd start doing a series of tests now for low light. I am zoomed in. I have the little white box around my face, and I'm going to step out of the frame so you can focus on the background, and then I'll come back in and see how quickly it focuses on my face. So I think this is actually going to work pretty well. And as I come back in, I go back in focus. One more time.
Sorry.
Okay, from what I can tell, I'm actually pretty far away from the camera right now. Like I've said, because I'm zoomed in, but it looks like it's working fairly well. I'll try one more time. In fact, I'm going to walk away, see if it keeps me in track, or does it switch to the background? And as I come in closer to the camera, am I still in focus? It looks like I am. And I can see in the background a beautiful bouquet. Come on. Uh-oh, did we confuse it? The white box is around my face. It's not focusing on my face. I can see it focused on their faces, but the white box is following me as I go side to side here. How long should I wait? Am I too close? I'm going to push the shutter button just to see. Oh, no. The focus got tricked. Okay. Well, now it's focused on me. Let's see what happens. I'm going to do this again. So I'm going to walk out of the frame. It looks like it focused on the background. I'm going to come back in. It looks like it focused on me. So now I'm going to step back and come back towards the camera. Okay, it works, but it did get fooled. One more time. The white box is back on my face, and there it goes. A little slow, but it worked. That's not too bad. Is it focused on that lady right there? The white box is around my face. One more time. It's not focusing on my face. But the white box is around my face, and it's following me as I move around the camera. As I move around the screen, I can see the little white box moving, but it's just not focusing. Canon, you need to fix this because this isn't working. I don't know what to say. The white box is around my face, but it is most clearly focused on the background behind me. I'll step out of the frame. It's completely focused behind me. Come back in, the box is on my face. And there it goes. I was hoping my earlier tests were somehow not good. But this test is proving that as the light gets low, the camera can definitely run into some focusing problems. For the most part, it works all right. What's strange is when it does get fooled, the focus box is definitely around my face, and it is following me wherever I go. Okay, well, that's enough for this test. So one thing I wanted to mention is a problem that I came up with. While I was shooting, the battery died, and I lost all the footage that I had shot. The camera did not close out the file when the battery died. That sucks, but what makes it worse is, they tell us that this camera has charging via the USB-C port. So I had a battery bank with me, and I plugged it in, and it didn't work. And I discovered that you need to spend $190 to buy a special USB-C cable from Canon in order to actually be able to charge the camera from USB-C. So in a situation like I was in, I only had the one battery, and I had to stop shooting. That really sucked. $190 for a USB-C cable? Really, Canon? You should be ashamed of yourselves. Okay, so for this next test, it is late at night, and I'm using ambient lighting. There's just a light that's over my head. I am going to do the same thing. The big tree you see behind me is more in the shadows than I am. But I'm going to step out of the frame, let it focus on that leaf up there, and then I'm going to come back in. It seems to be working just fine. Again, this is with a lot of light on my face though. This time I'm going to walk backwards and out of the frame. And now I'm just going to walk back in. It's working okay. Okay. One thing that should be discussed when we're talking about the Canon G7X Mark III is how it compares to the Sony RX100-7. And right now I am at 2.8, which is what the Sony is set at. But the G7X Mark III can go to 1.8. So to see what the difference is there, I'm just going to turn it up a little bit. And that's the difference between the Sony and the Canon. It does make a difference. Okay, let's try a little bit darker. Right now I am in the shadows. I am away from most of the light. And if I step out, we can see this flag right here. When I step back in, I want to see if it catches my face in the darkness. There's the little square, and I'm back in focus. I'll step out of the frame, and it focuses back on the flag. I come back in, I see the white square, walk towards the camera. Am I in focus? Seems to be working okay. So what did we learn from the testing of the Canon G7X Mark III's focusing system? I think overall it focused really well. It is a little slow and it did get lost a couple of times, but that's probably not something that would happen that often, I would hope. And maybe that's something that Canon can fix with a firmware update somewhere down the line. This is now the third video I've done on the Canon G7X Mark III. And if you haven't seen those other two videos, please check them out here. The first one, I compared the Panasonic Lumix GH5 to the G7X Mark III, and that showed some interesting results. And the second video was just a focusing test, similar to this one, but I was zoomed out because I was thinking most people would be zoomed out all the time because they're going to buy this camera for vlogging, and you're going to be zoomed out all the way for vlogging. But anyway, check out those two videos if you'd like to see more. What did you guys think of the focusing performance of the G7X Mark III? Was it up to your standards? Was it below your standards? Did it meet your approval, or was it a disappointment? Well, leave me some comments below. I'd love to check them out. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, and if you didn't, please give me a thumbs down twice. And also, if you wouldn't mind, please think about subscribing so you can see more of my videos as I post them. Hope everybody's doing well out there. See you next time. Bye.